From the Parliamentary Joint Committee on Corporations and Financial Services.
I call the member for Swan.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. On behalf of the Parliamentary Joint Committee on Corporations and Financial Services, I present the committee's report on its inquiry into the life insurance industry and ask leave of the House to make a short statement in connection with that report.
Is leave granted?
Leave is granted.
I thank the honourable member for Rankin. I give the call to the honourable member for Swan.
Thank you, Mr Deputy Speaker. On behalf of the Parliamentary Joint Committee on Corporations and Financial Services, I present the committee's report on its inquiry into the life insurance industry. The inquiry into the life insurance industry was referred by the Senate on the 14th of September 2016 to review the need for further reform and improved oversight of the life insurance industry, assess relative benefits and risks to consumers, gauge whether entities are engaging in other unethical practices, review the sales practices of life insurers and brokers, assess the effectiveness of internal dispute resolution, the role of the Australian Securities and Investments Commission and the Australian Prudential Regulation Authority in reform and oversight, and any related matters. And as I see the member for Burt here, who is on the committee and is going to speak afterwards, that referral was fairly tight, but as the inquiry progressed, the any related matters became quite expansive, and we delved into many areas of the life insurance industry which, when the original referral was made by Senator Williams in the Senate, was raised purely on the basis of the fact that he had received many complaints in regards to the processes of claims to life insurance companies, and that was the initiation of this report. Following the referral, the committee advertised the inquiry on its webpage, inviting submissions from a wide range of relevant stakeholders. Mr Speaker, through this process the committee received 77 submissions and a number of supplementary submissions. Once submissions closed on the 18th of November 2016, the committee held 7 public hearings, 1 in Sydney, 1 in Melbourne and 5 here in Canberra, to provide relevant stakeholders and organisations the opportunity to provide evidence to the committee. Life insurance has a noble purpose, Mr Speaker, to provide financial protection to policyholders, that is, hard-working Australians, in times of immense need and financial and emotional distress. In doing so, the life insurance industry forms a significant part of the financial services sector in Australia. And again, the member for Burt will agree with me that there are many expectations of life insurance, but there are different parts of stakeholders and there are different parts of the community who have different expectations of what life insurance should provide and shouldn't provide, and we found that out during the inquiry. Mr Speaker, despite this, there are sections of the industry that can and must do better in delivering the protection they promise, whilst remaining financially viable long into the future, securing policies of current policyholders. Mr Speaker, as at September 2017, there were 29 life insurers in Australia. The Big Four banks each owned life insurance businesses until 2017, when some of those life insurance businesses were either completely or partially sold. Whether that was a result of this inquiry, I couldn't exactly say, but I know the probing by the member for Burt had many its stakeholders and life insurance companies on the edge of their seat. For the benefit of the House, the committee has taken a broad view of the life insurance industry, covering direct, retail and group life insurance products, including life cover, also known as life insurance or death cover, total and permanent disability, TPD, trauma cover and income protection. The committee's inquiry has followed on from an overlap with significant reviews and legislative changes, as well as the ownership changes in the industry. It was a moving feast during the time of the inquiry. Mr Speaker, the report focuses on areas where substantial changes are required to ensure the life insurance industry is held to account in relation to effective consumer protection and industry codes of practice, the transparency of remuneration, commissions, payments and fees, the provision of advice in the best interest of consumers, group life insurance arrangements that do not disadvantage certain groups of consumers, appropriate access to personal, medical and genetic information, and a fair claims handling practice, and which should also be a timely claims handling practice. Mr Speaker, I'd like to take this opportunity to acknowledge and thank all of those who have contributed to this inquiry, be it through written submissions or evidence provided during the hearings, and the evidence we received provided a strong evidence base which informed our deliberations and the report. Now, the areas that we did delve into were obviously consumer protections, the codes of practice, also the remuneration, commissions, payments and fees, which I've mentioned, and also the retail life insurance and approved product lists, along with group life insurance, access to medical information, genetic information, and also mental health, which played an important role during the process of all those items I've mentioned, and again the claims handling. And one of the things that I personally feel was important that this industry should look at and should be targeted is the transparency, the definitions of life insurance, they'll be harmonised amongst the life insurance companies, and also the fact that we can track a parcel from one side of Australia to another by going onto a website, but unfortunately people are putting claims for life insurance which are needed to be treated fairly and equitably and quickly cannot follow the process of that life insurance claim, or whether it be a TPD claim or whether it be any other form of claim workers' compensation. I thank my fellow committee members for their contributions to this inquiry, which I know will effectively improve consumer outcomes and the sustainability of the life insurance industry. My Deputy Chair, Senator Deb O'Neill, who I've had the pleasure of working with on a number of inquiries, my parliamentary colleagues, the member for Ford, his work on the financial services sector was invaluable, the member for McCullough, Senator John Williams, Senator Hume, the member for Griffiths, the member for Burt, who I said is in the chamber, Senator Chris Ketter and Senator Peter Wish-Wilson. Mr Speaker, I'd like to add a special comment and thanks to Senator Williams for his commitment to this inquiry and his commitment to represent the people who had come to him with claims about being treated unfairly by the life insurance industry. For as long as Senator Williams has been in the Senate, he has been a strong advocate for improvements to this industry. I'd also like to pass on my sincere thanks to the committee secretariat, particularly Patrick Hodder and John Bell, for the enormous amount of the work they've put into this inquiry. This is the second major inquiry I've had with privilege on working on with this particular committee, and also the previous one we did was the whistleblower inquiry, which is equally as important to many Australians. And so to those two gentlemen, I'd like to thank them for their professional and dedicated approach that they've taken in handling this inquiry. Mr Speaker, it would be remiss of me not also to thank Hansard Broadcasting and the staff of committee members. I'm very proud that the informed recommendations contained in this report, and trust it provides a constructive way forward for the life insurance industry. Mr Speaker, I commend the report to the House.
And I call the member.
Authorised by Steve Irons MP, Liberal Party of Australia, Victoria Park, WA.